Welcome back to another episode of Let's Play 1001 Games. I'm your host, Gaming Jay, and today we're hopping into the 3D puzzle video game originally created for the BBC Micro in 1986, but ported to every computer system out there, called the Sentinel. We're playing on the Atari ST today. This is considered one of the earliest stealth-based video games by some. Not necessarily the earliest, but just an early one. And especially it was one of the first games to feature 3D graphics, which probably look damn impressive for its day, but as we will see, they're just utterly slow these days. And you know what? Without further ado, let's go ahead and hop in here, and I'll kind of explain the game a little bit as we go. So the idea behind the game is you have this 3D terrain, and you are a stationary object on that terrain, and you have to teleport around and eventually get higher than the Sentinel, which you can see is this sort of red and yellow and black obelisk in the center of the map, and eventually you absorb the Sentinel. That is the game. Now, in order to get ready to play this game today, I watched a video of somebody playing this game, and I went ahead and tried the game myself multiple times, and all I can say is that if you don't have this game explained to you, this game is utterly confusing. In fact, I'm going to show you guys the manual for this game in a little bit, and honestly, the manual doesn't help. The manual for this game is one of the most confusing, poorly written manuals I've ever read. It is so, needlessly obtuse. It is very weird. I will explain what I'm doing in a little bit. For now, just sort of sit back and watch. See if you can figure out how this game works just by looking at what I'm doing on the screen. Chances are, I think you're not going to be able to figure it out. I already gave away the game a little bit by telling you that you're trying to absorb the Sentinel, but imagine you didn't even know that, and you were just watching somebody absorb trees by clicking on them. Like, what the heck am I doing here? You would wonder. Oh no! And then a thing is beeping, so I'm going to quickly do this, and then the thing stops hovering, but then that turns into that. What is happening? Things are turning into trees. Who knows? It is the crazy world of Sentinel. Basically, in this game, as I said, you are absorbing trees. It is sort of like, you're like clear-cutting the forest. Can I get this one, do you think? Oh, I totally can. I snuck in there. And yeah, you're trying to absorb the Sentinel. Okay, so how does this actually work? So basically, you're looking around the map here in this very primitive 3D environment. And when you can see the ground where a tree is planted, or where anything is, you can absorb the thing. So what you're trying to do is get to higher and higher ground, basically. So I'm kind of looking for a good spot to go. One of the ways you can get to increase your vision is by placing blocks or boxes like this. And then you can place your Sentinel on top, and then teleport into your Sentinel. Or actually, I guess you're called a synthoid. Here's an interesting bit of trivia for this game. You are a character known as a synthoid, but in the North American releases, they just called it a robot. I guess they had intense focus group testing that showed them that Americans did not understand what a synthoid was. It was too complicated, too sci-fi, too geeky, too nerdy, or whatever it was. So in America, you're just called a straight-up robot. But internationally, you are known as a synthoid. And what is a synthoid? Good question. Seems to be a stationary object that has a telepathic ability to absorb trees and also transfer its consciousness into newly created versions of its body that it creates. So there you go. That is your definition of a synthoid. There's the thing that we're trying to take over, the Sentinel. So here's what I'm going to try. I'm going to place a couple of blocks there, place my body, and teleport. Boom! He didn't have a chance to absorb me. And we're going to go ahead and try and absorb all these things back. So once you have teleported, it is handy to go back and absorb what you have just left behind. And oh, look at this. The Sentinel's right here. I absorbed him. And in order to pass the level, here's what you have to do. After you absorb the Sentinel, you have to place a clone where he was, teleport into that clone, and then you have to initiate a hyperspace jump, which I don't know if we can do that. I don't know if we can here. Can I absorb this? No. Okay, we've locked ourselves out of completing the level. But we've kind of completed the level semi-functionally, but practically we actually failed. So we just played our first round of the Sentinel. Kudos to you if you could figure out what was going on. I can't believe it. We literally can't pass the level. Oh man, that is actually some poor game design right there. So once you defeat the Sentinel, I guess you're not allowed to absorb anything else, and I don't have enough energy to initiate the hyperspace jump. Oh no, wait, I just did it. Okay, I don't know what happened. There we go, we did pass the level. So the secret entry code to Landscape 4 is, oh, I should write this down. Ah, damn it, I pressed a key and it went away. Okay, well, yeah. All right, let's check out the manual for a second here. So here is the first page of the manual describing the game. In a strange universe of 10,000 worlds, an oddly specifically sized universe, where only force is pure energy, a lone synthoid does battle against the Sentinel and her agents, the Sentries. So you control the synthoid. As you move about individual landscapes, avoiding the withering stare of the Sentinel and the Sentries, you must gain a position from where you can destroy the Sentinel. Her energy becomes yours and the landscape is complete. Drawing on your remaining energy, you must now hyperspace to a new world where fresh challenge awaits. Only 9,999 worlds to go. Victory will be yours. This is the first page of the manual. Does this explain to you guys what is going on in this game? Because I read this and was like, what is this game about? As we dive deeper into the manual, the mystery thickens. The Sentinel will auto-boot. So this is just sort of like starting up the game. Each landscape, except for the first, is reached via 8-digit code. Okay, we did see a code, but I skipped past it, so we'll have to beat the first level again. You'll be able to get an idea of the terrain involved in the landscape. Blah, blah, blah. Taking control of the mouse. Here's the only page of the manual that made any sense. And it told you that you could move the mouse around, and if you left-click things, you'll absorb them. Right-click, you will teleport into your body. Look at all the description to just tell you that the mouse controls a cursor. And then the fun starts here. Now that you've become used to looking around, we will start to discover to move within the landscape, how to create and absorb. Sentinel is a game of strategy, and the units of energy that exist within the landscape have a variety of forms. One unit of energy, or one unit, is represented by a tree, and this is the building block button. Like, get to the point! This is so complicated. This manual makes this game more difficult to understand. You know what this reminds me of? Here, I'll flip to the next page in case you want to try and read it and decipher it for yourself. I will explain this game to you guys much more simply in this manual, but like, look at this. There's so much description, and it is so convoluted and confusing. So here's the thing. Back in the day, I remember NES games used to be insanely difficult, especially if they only had a few levels. Like I think Karate Kid only had 4 levels, and the developers were like, crap, there's not much game here. I know what we can do, make it really hard so that people can't get very far. I think the creators of Sentinel were like, hey, if people figure out this game too quickly, they're going to get bored of it. I know what we can do is we can make this game really hard to understand by writing the worst instruction manual ever. And in order for people to play the game, they have to complete a mini game called Reading and Understanding the Manual. Oh, by the way, it does tell you there's a help feature. I could not get this to work, so I don't, maybe the version I have doesn't do it, or I'm pressing the wrong key, but that's one thing I couldn't figure out. Throughout all of this, throughout reading the whole manual, it didn't tell me certain keys. For instance, at one point it says place blocks in order to place your synthoid higher. It didn't tell me what key to use for a block. I just guessed it was B, and it turned out to be correct. I mean, in a good manual, you should start off very clearly with like, what is the goal? What are the rules? What are the buttons? This is like written as if it's some kind of like elaborate novel. Also, I really like this. Once I played this, practicing by myself, and I actually absorbed the Sentinel, and I was like, sweet, I beat the level. And then I was just sitting there, and the level didn't end. I had to come back to the manual and figure out that, when you're on top of the Sentinel's tower, you have to hyperspace. So you have to defeat the Sentinel, teleport onto the Sentinel spot, initiate a hyperspace jump, which is sort of, it's a emergency maneuver. You can actually use it while you're playing a level, and it will just teleport you randomly somewhere on the map. But you're supposed to do that when you're on the Sentinel's landing spot, and then based on how much energy you have left, it unlocks a different subsequent level. And they're showing you like the algorithm that it's going to use to tell you what level it will unlock. So from level 1, you can go to level 4, level 7, level 20. You can go all over the place. It's not like level 1 leads to level 2, leads to level 3. There's some kind of complicated mathematical formula. Oh man, talk about complicated. Okay, so going back to the game here, let's take a second look at the level. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. So there's the Sentinel. My goal is to stand above the Sentinel so I can see the ground that the Sentinel is standing on and absorb the Sentinel. Now, as I am playing here, one of the first orders of business is to try and absorb any trees. So what you constantly want to be doing in this game is absorbing trees. You can see in the top left I have an energy meter, and it switches between sort of icons. And eventually, if you absorb enough elements, it will actually gain new icons. So I'm going to go ahead. So I've built 2 blocks and one of my dudes, and I can teleport into my guy by basically right-clicking. And now I'm standing in where that guy was, and there's my original body. And you can go absorb your old body. So that's what I'm doing here. One thing you can do also, I didn't realize this till much later, is you can actually place trees. I don't know why this is relevant, but let's say you think, oh, I actually want to reforest some of the areas of destroyed. You can go ahead and use your energy to create trees. I don't know, I don't know what purpose that serves. But anyway, now that I'm standing up higher, I can absorb more trees. Notice how my energy bar is glowing right now? That means the Sentinel sees me. So I'm going to place a body real quick and teleport over to it to get away. Now notice that the Sentinel is absorbing the spot where I previously was. It was cycling through, and it turned my old body into a tree, and then it absorbed the tree. So the Sentinel is going around absorbing things just like I am. So my goal, again, really, is to kind of move around the map, find trees that I can grab. Oh, look at this. 2 really handy trees to absorb. I'm absorbing them by clicking on the tiles where the trees are with the left mouse button. So again, if you can just see the top of a tree, like for instance over here, I can't absorb this tree. But if I can click on the tile that it's placed on, you can see then I just absorbed it. So this game is all about vantage point, and you want to try and get better and better vantage point as you go on. So I'm going to place a body there on a couple of blocks, teleport into it. You start off facing your old body. First things first is absorb it, because the old body is worth quite a bit of energy points. And then start looking for trees and or better positions to be standing at. I don't think I can get that one. So this is one of the earliest 3D games. This was 1986. And again, this game was ported to absolutely everything. Commodore 64. It started off on the BBC Micro. It was on the Amiga and everything like that. Interestingly, because this was one of the earliest 3D games, the computers of the day really weren't 3D powerhouses. They sort of really were not capable of running anything but very primitive 3D. So I built a really tall tower there. I'm going to absorb my old body over here very quickly before the Sentinel can get it. I'm going to absorb this too. And I should be almost tall enough to get the Sentinel. Oh yeah, totally. You're done. Okay, now I make a body. I teleport over there. And then I press I can even absorb my old body. Oh, no, I can't. Okay, well, I'm standing where the Sentinel is. I have become the Sentinel. And now I press H to jump to hyperspace. And we get a code for the new level. See, this time it unlocked level 6. So it's totally random. And actually, this game doesn't have any level data in its code. It's all procedurally generated. I'm going to write this down as I talk here. So the reason it has 10,000 levels is that's just the number code that it has. And it uses procedural generated algorithms to actually generate every level. The interesting thing is the levels just are all over the place in terms of difficulty because the levels are procedurally generated. Sometimes they're easy, sometimes they're hard. There's no rhyme or reason to it. So let's say we go and we try level 6 here and it's too hard for us. We can go back and play level 1 again and end with a different amount of energy, and we'll unlock level 4 or 5 or 20 or some other random level, and that might be easy to beat. So it's kind of an odd game in that there's absolutely no difficulty curve. It's more of a difficulty, just random, EKG or something like that. Anyway, 4515188 83. I don't know if I said that right. That was level 6, right? So go ahead and unlock level 6. 4515188. 883. And we did it. And that is how you get to other levels in Sentinel. Oh my god, this one looks very complicated. Let's see if we even stand a chance here. But yeah, kind of an interesting idea for a game. Oh, are we playing? Oh, we're just straight up staring at a wall. I thought the game hadn't even started yet. We are like in a pit. We are in a chasm or a chasm. We seriously are. How do we get out of here? Okay, there's the ground. Okay, there's like trees and stuff. We might have to sort of dig our way out by placing a couple blocks, placing our dude, and teleporting into him. There we go. When I first sat down to play this game, again, I watched like a video of somebody playing this, like no commentary, and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, it looked so confusing. After I sat down and started to play it, I realized that it's actually not that bad of a game. It's actually rather interesting. But as you can see, one of the big challenges of this game is just how like slow it scrolls. It's actually like painfully slow to scroll. Can I do this? Oh, it's not letting me build a dude there. Okay, hold on. How about I do this? There we go. And as I was saying, in terms of how this game was ported to all these different systems, you know, it was ported to like the Commodore 64, and that is like a much weaker system than like an Atari ST or an Amiga or anything like that. And it turns out that on the Commodore 64 version, it can take upwards of 3 seconds for the screen to scroll. So it's like if you're looking at a view, you're like, I wonder what's to the right. When you move the cursor over to the right, it can take 6 seconds for the screen to scroll. That is brutal, man. That is insane. I can't believe people put up with that. Oh, God. The Sentinel was looking right there. Oh, he's looking right there still. Let's go ahead and absorb that tree. Okay, so that is a bad place to try and go. Oh, God, the Sentinel sees me. So he's going to start absorbing my energy. But if I go over there, then he can't. Oh, and I can't even see the thing. Oh, but I can't absorb that. All right, we got a bit of energy back. See, he's turning my other block into a tree, and then it's gone. It's kind of weird how it's like trees are the things you're absorbing. You're like a robot that's tree powered. It's kind of a weird thing, a weird energy source. It's like this robot is powered by like an internal, you know, like an old-fashioned combustion engine. Not even like gasoline. It's like based on wood. He has a wood furnace for a heart or something like that. But yeah. Anyway, it is an interesting game once you kind of get the hang of it. Like I'm giving it a hard time, of course. But it's just that instruction manual, I can't believe it. Like I literally puzzled my way through that instruction manual for a while before I gave up and went looking for other guides on how to play this game. And the actual playing of it is not that complicated. It's not that hard. Okay, that's where we want to be. Let's try this. I don't want to go too high over there. So my strategy is to try and find like a better and better vantage point until I can like all of a sudden like jump up really quickly and like surprise the Sentinel. But in the meantime, I just want to keep absorbing other trees if I can find them. There's one. Get all the trees you can. Yeah, like when I was watching some dude play this game, he's just like looking around, clicking on trees. I was like, what is the goal of this game? What are you even trying to accomplish? Because I don't get it. Okay, we'll build a block there. And we'll teleport over. Apparently you can pay attention to like where the Sentinel is actually looking and stuff. But I mean, we're not strategic enough for that. So we're just going to kind of hope this works. There we go. Oh, I'm nice and high now. I think I might almost be high enough. Oh, look at this, Sentinel, man. I just absorbed your powers. Okay, but I hate how once you absorb the Sentinel, you're not allowed to, like, absorb anything else. It's like, sorry, the rest of the game's off limits. Anyway, there we are. So there's one of my bodies. Let's see where the other one is. You can just leave your bodies scattered around the environment if you want. I thought it was somewhere over here. Oh, well, it doesn't really matter. Let's jump to hyperspace. Initiate the jump! And there's another code. So we made it to level 8. I guess let me write this one down too, because we should try like one more level here. 777555547. See, the thing is, guys, if you're watching this video, you have these levels unlocked too. Now you can go and try them. You don't have to beat those first levels for yourself. Oh shoot, I keep not writing down the level number. I think it was 877755547. It was. All right, my memory is not failing me. All right, here's another one. This one looks relatively easy. The Sentinel does not look very high. I mean, I guess it depends where we start. Let's see where it chooses to start us. I guess it always kind of starts you somewhere rather low. That seems to be the MO of the game. Okay, there's a tree. So see, you can't click on the tree. You can only click on the ground where the tree is spawned. Oh my god. All right. Teleport! I hit H there, and I did a random jump somewhere on the map. And I did it because the Sentinel had seen me. Oh god, is this where we're going to start encountering Sentinel henchmen? It totally is. I don't have a chance to absorb anything. Okay, here's a tree. So my main complaint with this game is how slow scrolling around is. Oh god. Did we just die? Wait, what happened? What is this? Is this my old body? Wait, I used the random thing to teleport somewhere on the map and it teleported me right beside my body? What is happening? I'm not doing anything. I'm not pressing any buttons. I'm just getting, like, killed by enemies you can't see. So yeah, not being able to scroll very fast. I mean, it was a limit of the technology of the time, but honestly, I think it kind of makes the game borderline unplayable these days, unfortunately. I find the game actually rather interesting. Again, when I first saw it, it kind of looked like sort of so basic that I was like, I am not going to like this. Okay, let's just randomly teleport him in a ditch. But as I played it, you know, I've read reviews of this game that it's sort of like, what is this? Multiple bodies, all me. Absorb them all. But I've read this game is sort of like, you know, chess. It's sort of like an early stealth game. It's a puzzle game. I would agree with almost all of those. Like, it's a rather fascinating little game here. It's just that this, like, slow scrolling thing is brutal. And, you know, do not play this game on the Commodore 64. 3 seconds to scroll. Can you imagine that? One level would take you like 20 minutes. And it's not because the level's hard. You'd just be waiting for most of the time for the game to calculate. Now, apparently this game has a pretty good fan base. And I think there are ports and patches and stuff. So you might be able to get a modern version of this. It is like a very sort of simple game, but again, in the same way that like chess or checkers are sort of simple games, like I could see this being an interesting game to play back in the day. Sort of like a little puzzle game, you know. It's, you know, like the Minecraft, or not the Minecraft, the Minesweeper of its day, you know. But yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to play this level, but I feel like you guys get the gist of it. I mean, there isn't too much to see with this game, so you know, I'll wrap up my thoughts here. This is a neat little tactical strategy game, you know. The Sentinel, it's one of the games in the book 1,000 video games you must play before you die. It is a game about a synthoid trying to outsmart a Sentinel. It is a deadly match of cat and also cat as one tries to outdo the other and absorb their energies and their powers. And once you get the hang of it, it's not as bad as it may seem on first glance. It's definitely a very easy game to understand. Just don't go to the manual to try and understand it. I am being killed slowly. Okay, something teleported me. I just... The main thing that I hate about this game is the slow scrolling. Like, I didn't even have a chance to scroll around and see what was attacking me. I just died. I feel like that is kind of ridiculous. Okay, where am I even supposed to be trying to go? That might help. Can we see the Sentinel? Oh, there it is. It's not that far away from us. Anyway, guys, what do you think of the Sentinel here? Is it a video game that you played back in the day? Is it a video game that you would recommend to people? Let me know in the comments down below. For Gaming Jay here, I mean, I don't have too much more to say on this game. Interesting little puzzle game, but yeah, what do you guys think? What's your opinion? You let me know. And other than that, whether you've enjoyed the game or not, hopefully I've made today a little interesting, a little entertaining. Hopefully I've taught you something and you've learned a little bit about the Sentinel and classic BBC Micro and Atari ST video games. If you have, don't forget to like the video and all that stuff. I'm just going to be here continually trying to outsmart the dastardly Sentinel in this never-ending grudge match, it seems. I am so close to getting this thing. Hold on. Before I officially sign off, let's see if we can actually get this Sentinel here. We are so close. We have a good amount of energy. I'm just absorbing trees left and right. My psychic powers have never felt stronger. Oh, this is it. Oh, we got this. We got this. Build my guy. Teleport over. I guess I will sort of absorb this. One other key I have not been using is U does a 180. So let's try that. U. There it is. And we have defeated the Sentinel and taken our rightful place as the master of the universe. Nothing left but to gaze at onto the vastness of our empire and despair, for there were no more worlds left to conquer. Just kidding, there were about 9,997 worlds left to conquer. And here's one more level code, so if you want to try this game out, have at it. Enjoy level 14. Anyway, that's it for me for today. Until next time, my friends, you'll take care of yourselves, and peace.